Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Really appreciate you taking time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Now it's time to talk about some zombie games, but I want to talk to you about one that's a little different than the other ones that we've covered. This is Telltale's Walking Dead. Now I'm really a big fan of the first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead, pretty much everything up until the prison, and then I kind of check out. So don't ask me about, the whole thing as, the full story. I have no idea. But because of especially those first two seasons, when this game came out, I'm like, okay, I can rock with this. Telltale was doing stuff like the Indiana Jones and the Back to the Futures and all of that. So, I was like, all right, let me give this a shot. And so you play Lee, he seems like a decent guy, but also something bad has happened. So, he was on his way to prison. And then, the Walking Dead thing happens, right? Zombies everywhere. And you end up finding a little girl named Clem, and she's all alone, and you pretty much deduce that her folks ain't coming home. So now you have to take care of her. And, it's more of the, choose your own adventure style, not a lot of actual combat. Most of the things are like quick time events, but I've really, really enjoyed the story. It kind of resonated with me for a few different reasons. So, I was really into it. And I'm not going to tell you the story because if you haven't played this, you can still play it now. You can play it digitally. And I really think you should find out what's going on. So I won't, say too much about the actual storyline besides the premise. But this made me a fan of the Telltale games more so than I already were, because the other games were borrowing from existing things in a way that it was reviving old franchises in video game form, because it had been a while since we had anything Back to the Future or Indiana Jones related, video game wise. So seeing them do something that was currently ongoing, and I'm not a big spinoff guy, so I was kind of maybe it might be crazy. Maybe it might not be good like the show, but it definitely has a different energy from the actual normal Walking Dead storyline, but it does still keep everything that I really enjoy about that series, where the level of hopelessness in a way that makes me want to see what happens next, but not necessarily give up. They always have that balance of things are bad and they're probably going to stay bad, but I do want to keep trying. I don't want to call it a quits. And then seeing the different characters that you interact with and how they respond to these situations, because, I'm trying to do everything right. And then you see them do things that are wrong. And you're like, okay, so is there not a way for them to get on board with what I'm doing? It's no, they're going to do what they're going to do. And you have to do what's best for you in certain situations. They make you make tough choices. And I think that was really cool. And it makes for a very interesting playthrough. I know there are different things that can happen each time you play, but for the most part, the story is what it is, or at least to a large degree. But yeah, you can do it different ways. You can make different choices. You can, pick different things to say. Sometimes it's better to, keep your hand close to your heart. And sometimes it's good to let people know what's going on. It's like you're playing poker with these people, because you want them to do for you, and in return you do for them. But sometimes they're like, yeah, I don't really care about that. We're just gonna do for self. So if you've consumed any Walking Dead media, you have to be ready to not get attached to anybody in this game just as well. But it's definitely something you should check out if you're a fan of choose your own adventure games, but also Walking Dead and anything like The Walking Dead. If you know about this series, now I only played season 1. I didn't go through with the next ones because, I got mentally and trauma burned out after the first season. But if you want to talk about, things that happen in those seasons, as far as your experience, I'd love to hear from you. But if you know specifically about this one, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on certain characters like Kenny, some of the people you met along the way, their version of Herschel. I don't know if it's the same Herschel, but his name is Herschel. So I'm thinking so. Either way, I appreciate you letting me reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.